Robin Williams once stated that I thought lacrosse was something you found in the church, which, even though it's pretty funny, it's not exactly accurate. For some people, it's part of their heritage, especially with a Native American background. And for others, it's something that's piqued their interest as it's continued to grow in the world of sports today. As a player for close to 6 years, I can attest that lacrosse involves way more than just a ball, a stick, and a goal. So, providing you with information about the sport, as basic as it may seem, will allow you to get a better understanding of it and why it's continuing to grow. And it may pique your interest in playing the sport yourself, especially if it becomes more popular on our collegiate level. So today I'm sharing with you 3 key components of the sport of lacrosse. Where it originated first, the basic concepts of the sport, and its growth over the past decade. So let's get started with how it originated. Lacrosse is a deeply rooted history before the United States even began. According to the World Lacrosse website, it was a sport that originated within an Algonquin tribe that was viewed as playing the sport. A man named Jean de Brebeuf is actually who gave the sport its name, as a French missionary who was, it was 1636, and he actually viewed the sport firsthand and had a written record of its being played. Now, the reasoning behind it being played is 3 key reasons, and that would be recreation, of course, to strengthen and condition young warriors, young tribe members, and religious practices at the time for Native Americans. Now, the field itself was massive, 500 yards to several miles long between villages is the span of where it would be played at. And the number of players is said to have been anywhere between 100 to 100,000 people at one time. So, now that we've talked about some of the origin, let's cover some basic concepts of the sport. When it comes to the sport itself after it was created, it's changed drastically with the equipment that's used, the field size, as well as the number of players, and obviously there's male and female players now. So, both men and women's lacrosse require very similar equipment. So, one of them would be a lacrosse ball that's got to be solid in color. Another is going to be a mouth guard. It's just got to be on the top part of your teeth. Then you've got to have protective eyewear, so the goggles that go on your face. And of course, your lacrosse stick. Now, women's does not have a pocket like men's does, and that's also what makes them very different, is that men's lacrosse sticks come in very different sizes. For a midfielder or an attackman, it's actually 40 to 42 inches long, while a defender has a deep hole, and it's known to be 52 inches to 72 inches long. Now, the goalies for both men and women playing have very similar requirements for additional equipment, including a chest protector and a throat protector, as well as a full helmet with the goggles in place, and padding in the shoulders and in the chest area as well. So, even though it's kind of different, it's pretty similar in that. Now, the field has shrank drastically as well. It's gone to only 110 yards, which can be played on the size of a regular football field. And for the number of players, it's 20 total, including both of the teams. So it's 10 players per team, including 3 midfielders, 3 attack, and 3 defenders, and 1 goalie, adding up to 10 players per. After covering these basic components, now we're going to move into its growth within the past decade, which I have to say is very substantial. It's continuously growing within the United States and has hit almost every single state by now. The Inside Lacrosse magazine actually interviewed a man. His name is Brian Coughlin. He was a coach. And his comment was that lacrosse is seen as the fastest growing collegiate sport within the past 15 years. This is backed up by an NCAA statistic that states that between 2003 and 2018, the sport of lacrosse has grown 97% in the number of teams, going from 256 to 505 teams total. Talk about a big jump. It's continued to pique the interest in nearly every single state, including Anchorage, Alaska. Lacrosse All Stars has an article where they've interviewed a man named Gabe Lipchick, and he is the director of Anchorage, Alaska Lacrosse. And his mission is quoted to say that he wants to put a lacrosse stick in the hands of as many Alaskans as possible. And his dedication has proven successful, as 50% growth has been seen each and every year since the program. Considering this information, lacrosse has continued to impact the world of sports from the origin all the way up until now. It was first created by Native Americans to strengthen their males, practice religion, and embrace the nature around them. And it's grown from being complex to simple and more complex in several different ways. But the progress and effort of people like Coach Lipchick prove that it's very successful in how it's continued to grow. So, the future of lacrosse is beyond the church, and it continues to prosper in the land of opportunity.